Today we visit the Ember Blaze League, and we're sitting down with the Victor Sosa, the AD carry for Gloomblade ME. In this interview, we talk about how the roster was formed, the team's journey throughout the season, and what their mentality is now that they face elimination in the lower bracket. Find out all that and more. All right, and we are back with another episode of Ember Melting Point. Today I have Victor Sosa from Gloomblade ME. So Victor, for people that might not know who you are yet, please introduce yourself and what role do you play in Gloomblade?
Yeah, so obviously my name is Victor. I am the owner of Gloomblade ME, and I'm also the starting AD carry for the team.
Oh, hey, well, welcome in, and I'm glad to have you on. I know your team's kind of gone through a few roster changes, and then you've kind of landed on being the AD carry. I am curious, how did the roster get formed? Like, are these guys like friends, or did you do a bunch of tryouts? How did Gloomblade become?
So it's interesting. I used to compete about 3 years ago on a bunch of different teams, ranging from like gold to like diamond teams. And I took a 3 year long break from League, and then I came back. Just kind of missed the whole competitive aspect because I'm very much a competitor myself. Um, and it kind of just started with that idea of I want to both myself compete and find a group of players that enjoy competition, enjoy getting better at the game. And so kind of that's how it started. I think I joined a team that was like lower ranked. I think it was like gold because I hadn't played much ranked yet, so my rank wasn't like really where it needed to be yet. So I think
Mm-hmm.
I was still gold at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And actually one the current mid laner for Gloomblade ME, him and I are kind of like the ones that kind of started everything. So we were on a different team that was like, I think it had like silver, gold players, and then I was the only platinum player, and then Char was also the mid laner. His name is Char.
Mm-hmm.
He was also gold, and basically we didn't like the rank disparity on that team, and so we gave it a shot. I played with them for about maybe like 4 weeks, like a month. And then myself and the mid laner decided to kind of do our own thing because we just felt a lot of the practices weren't very productive to just giving us like a realistic feel of what competition is going to be like. And I knew that just because of the previous experience I had. Um, and so him and I just kind of brainstormed. I was like, look, I'm looking to start my own team. You're interested in joining? He said yes. And so him and I started this Gloomblade team. Unfortunately, him and I are the only two original members from the team, and we've just kind of been looking for the right people that kind of want to be here on the team and kind of just align with what we want to do and kind of why we want to play on a team together. Which is pretty difficult to find like the right people because a lot of I don't know how familiar you are with uh league teams, but there is a lot of turnover as far as like players either having commitment issues, uh, people just
Yeah,
tilting out of their minds, wanting to maybe pursue something different, or
absolutely.
the whole role thing. Oh, I don't want to play X role. I want to try this other role, and it's just constant revolving door. Unfortunately, and so yeah, myself and Char, the mid laner, are the only two original uh players from the team. And so yeah, we've just been kind of trying to find people, and that's where the big roster swaps have come. It's just from people leaving and or finding other things, and or sometimes they just don't click well with the team. And so I, as the team owner, try to make sure that everyone's getting along and the expectations are being met by everyone because I try to be fair with everyone and not waste people's time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you mentioned that. You and Char are the only two like original roster members. It's kind of funny. Like, I didn't realize the ME stood for Maelstrom
Maelstrom
Esport,
Esport,
because
correct.
I mean, to a lot of people it would seem pretty obvious, but to me, I was like, oh, I wonder what ME stands for. I didn't find out until like Kyle had opened up a a ticket. I was like, okay, well that makes sense. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
But
But
yeah. How did that? So like, are you guys like? Is it like a partnership? Like, how does that work? Like,
great question, and I can definitely explain that.
mhm,
So, um, I think at the time, whenever I was starting, actually before I made the decision to start this team, I was in the Maelstrom Discord,
mhm,
like I said, looking for a team to be on. The way they do the thing there, the team forming with that server is a little tricky. I wasn't too familiar with it. So basically, you fill out an application.
mhm,
Um, they'll kind of run you through like orientation, what the server's about, what they try to do, and then they place you on a team if they think you're a good fit. And so they did that with me originally, but same same thing kept happening with the teams that I was kind of, I guess, added on.
mhm.
It just ended up either players weren't organized, they weren't consistent, they weren't showing up, or yeah, or people's schedules were all weird. It was also kind of harder to get like a coach, consistent coach, and it was kind of like the same issue. Like I said, players just leaving or not really having a team, and I was always one of the ones that was like, "Hey, like when are we gonna play? I really want to make this work. I want our players to play, and because that's the only way you can improve, really."
Yeah,
Um, and I saw no no responses, no interest really from a lot of players. So I think eventually I was like, well, you know what? I do have experience in like running a team and being on a team. So let me see if I can do that and not have to rely on someone to, organize things, find players, all the things that require being on a team or having a team that practices consistently. And so that's why I decided to do my own thing, um, and just create Gloomblade. But I still stuck with the Maelstrom Esports because they do offer free coaching there, and with my team specifically, they said if we like represent them as an organization, they paid our tournament fees to so we're able to compete under them.
mhm.
So that was kind of like the reasoning for that, and then it was just the fact that they have coaching was another big reason that I decided to kind of represent them because they do offer some coaching there, and it's helped me in some of my game, and it's helped some of my players now that I've told them about it, and they can use it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's showing because like you guys definitely. I mean, even though you guys like, entered into playoffs like 1-3, I don't think that like, at least I believe I don't think that accurately represents like your guys' strength as a team. Because I mean, you've
Mhm.
taken some wins off of some of the bigger teams. Um, I mean, partially speaking, like I mean, how do you feel about the roster right now? Like, do you think the roster's in a much better spot, or I mean, like, or is there like stuff that you guys still have to work on? Would you say?
I would say definitely our team has improved. Have been a lot of things we're trying to work on, like during practice. Some of the fundamentals. Just so we can have a consistent like early game. That's kind of, I guess, a lot big. Most of our focus is the early game, but I do know we still have a lot to work on, primarily because we do have a new jungler, and I think our top laner missed a couple of games with us, and also is missing a couple of practices. So that's kind of difficult to build on the things we practice when you can't get like 100% attendance to practices. And
Right.
so I would say that's been one of the biggest challenges for now. And but yeah, I mean, we're still trying to be as consistent. I try to do what I can to remind the guys, stay on top of everyone,
Mm-hmm.
set clear expectations, and if people don't show up, being the one of being like, look, somebody paid for us to be able to play. And so it's kind of like a slap in the face to not show up to these things. Like, I get it, it is just a game, and maybe you don't take it as serious, and I address that if necessary. But I try to remind the guys like why we're here and keep us focused, so um, our time isn't wasted during practice, and we can try and showcase what we practice in our matches.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like I said, I definitely do think it does show. Now, in your opinion, how did it feel playing in the Blaze League? Did it feel pretty challenging overall? I mean, did you like enjoy your time? Like, um, I know there was a lot of like tough matches, kind of week
Um,
to week.
yeah, I would say, yeah, it was challenging, but one of the things I noticed with our team is or not a lot of times, but sometimes we tend to just lose to ourselves. Like we can have a good early game, or maybe even just like a game one, and then I don't know if the players just get overconfident, or once we make one mistake, we just let it snowball and uh, find it difficult to find some stability, maybe slow the game down. Um, but yeah, that's kind of how I see the team
Yeah.
when we compete.
And then as far as your support, like, do you feel like you have pretty good synergy with them in general?
Yeah, with the current support, yes. So I used to have a different support prior
Mm-hmm.
to the Astos, but I played I found less time to play with my previous support, and that's kind of why I decided to find a different one because with Astos, the current support, I played more with like whenever I still had the previous support, I was playing more games with Astos and solo queue than I was with the starting support, and so that to me was like,
Yeah.
how are you going to build synergy with so and it's not to, I don't want to talk smack about the previous support
Right.
because um she was good. She's a really good player, but it just I think our schedules didn't line up. Like the days that I was able to play, not during practices because practice is always lined up, but I always think that it's beneficial to get games outside of practice. Just like especially in the bot lane because it is such a uh it's a lane that requires so much synergy, so much communication, so much understanding of like what each player wants to do so they can be on the same page that I just valued that so much. And that's why I decided to bring Astos onto the team. And there is something more to that as well. He is actually not in support main.
Oh,
I
interesting.
didn't know that. It's funny. I didn't know that
Yeah.
whenever I first decided to be like, hey, you should join my team because I just liked him as a person, as a player. I think he had a good mental. He had good hands.
Mm-hmm.
He played a lot, which is one of the things that I value a lot. Someone who just plays, because they're getting in there trying to, improve at the game. And so I really like that, and that's why I wanted to bring him on. Um, and eventually uh he was like, because okay, when I first met him, it was actually through solo queue, which is weird. I don't. That's the first time I've ever met someone on a team that I've had on my team that I met through solo queue.
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
think he was playing Rakan, I was playing Zaya, and we just freaking popped off. I was like, holy moly, you're freaking so good. And he was like, thanks. And then we just do it a lot after that. Um, and he was playing support, and I was like, dude, you're better support than the other support that I used to play with. So that's kind of how Astos came around. But he has expressed that he is a mid laner at heart, and I understand that. So
But he's taking one for the team and filling in the spot that you guys need right now.
absolutely, yep, absolutely, absolutely.
So, have you always been an AD carry? Like, did you start like league playing AD carry, or did you like find your way into it?
When I started League many years ago, many years ago, I would actually start as a support. So I had a friend of mine who introduced me to the game, as probably most League players how it happens, and he put me on support champions for some reason. Makes sense. Um, and that's what I learned on just support lane. I never really thought I would get into League like that. And then the thing that changed it all to me, I still remember it, is when Jin came out. That is when
Oh, yep.
I made the transition to AD carry, and I haven't looked back since. So if you just look at the date Jin was released, that's when I started playing AD carry. I've been playing AD carry since.
Well, I like that. Yeah, I mean, Jin definitely is one of those fun AD carries. Because he's very unique. Like no other AD carry has what he has. Um,
Hmm.
it's funny you mentioned that because like my first, because I've been juggling for so long, but like my first like role that I fell in love with was also AD carry, and it was
Mm.
Lucian that kind of like brought that for me because when Lucian dropped,
Mm.
I was like, oh my god, this guy has like 50 million dashes. He's so fun, and in his ultimate,
Yeah,
you just gun people down. Sign me up. So
for sure. Yeah,
Do you like
Lucian is
playing
fun.
like more aggressive AD carries, or do you like kind of like the farm style, like passive, and then you just become like a late game monster?
Great question. So after many years of me just looking at how I play and understanding kind of the type of player that I am, I think I'm very much a utility type of AD carry. I play a lot of utility champions.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Um, I would say recently I've been trying to really work on the hyper carries, and that's still a work in progress. But yeah, definitely play a lot of utility AD carries and try to find ways to make plays. Just always kind of been my style because I guess I don't like being having to rely on other people to always be the ones to initiate everything. So I guess another reason why I like having utilities. And I mean, Jin, that's just kind of how he is
Yeah.
from the get go. Like that's his.
Long range utility support. Plus, he
Yeah.
has a great execute as well. So he
Uh-huh.
basically covers all your bases.
Yeah. Definitely has weaknesses though, because I have played some games where I could be like 20-0 and still lose the game because, just Jin,
Yeah.
just how he is. Very limited in certain aspects.
Well, now
But yeah.
that has me thinking. How do you feel like you performed overall? Since you have been playing, because I know like, you guys did have another 80 carry for a little bit, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
so to explain all that and why that turned out the way that it turned out.
mhm.
So, my I am my civilian employment is I work as a firefighter.
Oh wow!
So I
Thank you for your
have
service.
yeah, no problem. I have a weird schedule. So I work 24 hours at a time,
Hmm.
then I get 1 day off, and I do that 3 times, and then I get 4 days off.
Oh wow!
And so I knew from the get-go that my schedule is very, very bad for like well, not very bad, but it's pretty rough for competing, especially if it like lands on the same day. Because some weeks I can play, and some weeks if like my work just lands on a day that we're competing, I have no other choice. Like I can't just call out for this.
Right.
It's not how that works. So I talked with the team and we made a decision like to try and find someone that can play with us, and thankfully, Rat, he's the 80 carry I was able to find.
Hmm.
He was able to help us out during, I think, the last couple of weeks while I was not able to make it because of work. But I believe the next 3 weeks, if everything goes as planned and we, make it through the next round, I should be good to play. And I think also the other players, the sub, said he also wanted to focus on a different team that he was on because he was just a sub on this team, so he was like just trying to explore something different, which kind of goes back to what I was telling you, how some players just kind of like a revolving door sometimes.
Yeah.
But he did help us out a lot, and so I'm obviously very appreciative of that. And hopefully, uh, I don't have to miss any more matches, but I can't. There's just unfortunately nothing I can do about my work schedule.
No,
It's
absolutely. I mean, you do
set
a
in
very important
stone,
job.
and yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, for the games you have been able to play, like, how would you feel? How would you feel about your performance and overall?
I
Like,
would say I would say my Jin game was really good, but it was just that just kind of goes back to what I was saying about Jin, how he's a very limited champion. Because I think I did really good in lane, but I think there was like a top lane set who ended up just taking over
doing
the
set
game, and
things. Yeah.
Jin and Set like pretty clear cut. Like Jin cannot kill Set unless Set's behind, but the Set was pretty fed and just kind of 1v9 our team. And trying to think what other game I haven't played as much as I'd like.
No, you're good.
I've had to had subs.
Is there a game
Uh,
that you felt
I would
like
say
you
my
played?
most recent ones weren't that good. Um, I think yeah we had to play with like a different top laner, and then yeah we had to play with a different top laner, so that was pretty tough to play
Hmm.
with a player we like never practiced with, and that was kind of one of the ones I was telling you where we had our top laner who didn't make it to one of the competition days, and that was pretty tough
Yeah,
because I think
absolutely.
that match was winnable, if we had our starting top laner because we went 1-2, and then the last game that we played was a close one despite us having a sub for really an e-sub
Hmm.
for that game. I think that's only one of the only ones that I remember. I can't even tell you how many times I've played, but I know it hasn't been that many because of my work.
Yeah, I hope you're able to stick through to the playoffs. I know
Oh
round
yeah.
one
No,
was kind of unlucky for you guys. I mean, what happened? Was it um like was it just like drafting, or was it what you said earlier, where it was like you guys
no,
kind of beat
round one.
yourselves? Yeah.
Nope. So I think from the beginning we knew this. Okay, so the Gloomblade team had been wanting to compete for, I think we'd been playing for like 6 months, but that was with the original players that I was talking to you about. Well, right before we started Blaze, my support left and my jungler left. So I think
Oh
we had
my.
like
Yeah.
1 week. We had 1 week
With a
to
new
find a new
roster.
support and a new jungler,
Yeah.
and that's where I met. That's where I met Astos. That's where I met him. And the jungler that left, he kind of was checked out already. And so I think we played with him like the first time because he's like,
Hmm.
I'm willing to play, you know, 1 to 2 weeks. Give me one. The original jungler we had, I think was exploring a different team. He was like, I don't know if he just wasn't meshing. He just didn't, he communicated with me. He just didn't feel like, the team was a right fit for him,
Hmm.
which, like I said, I'm not going to force anyone to play with me if they don't want to. So, I think he just went and explored a different team, and so we had very, very little time to find players to compete with, and that's actually why I kind of pressured Astos to play support because he was like one of the only players that I knew that consistently played and that I had experience with, and I think would give me the best chance at competing.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to compete without any preparation, and because we had played so much solo queue together, I felt like, we can find ways. And we also have, thankfully, we have two coaches, and, you know, hats off to them. They've done a great job in trying to help us out as much as they can in walking us through, how to lane and, just how to team fight, how to move as a team. Um, and so that's kind of why the first week was rough because it was literally 1 to 2 practices that we've had with the team at the beginning before we were sent to the competitive games to play. So
Exactly.
I knew from the get go those games weren't going to be great. But I think because we'd been wanting to compete for so long, at least myself and Char, because we're the two original members, that we'd played with the 5 players that I said we originally had for like 6 months, and then like a week before we wanted to actually start a league, 2 people leave. So you can't do much about that. It was a very unfortunate situation. But I did want to know, like, kind of, did anything that we work on, you know, can we show it? Can we actually execute on it in a match? And I'd say we did kind of all right in the beginning,
Hmm.
because we were pretty new. But always we try to have the mindset of there's always something you can improve on, and so we try to just kind of take it step by step and work on the things we got to work on every week, and just kind of add on to it as we go, and just kind of remind ourselves the information and the things we need to do to be able to win our games.
Absolutely. Yeah, win the games and get to the next level.
Uh
Um,
huh.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's like the beauty of like these kinds of competitions. Like every team has to start from somewhere. Every player has to start from somewhere. So like you're gonna see what other players are doing at the basically the same level as you guys are. And it
Mhm.
gives you guys a chance to be like, oh, well, I didn't know I could do it that way, or I didn't know that you could
Mhm.
take this macro that way. And if you're not sure like how they were able to execute it, because you guys have the coaches, they can break it down for you guys, and then you guys can say, okay, yeah, we could try this out. Um, Even if we don't end up going all the way, at least the next time we run a competition, we're gonna have that
Exactly.
knowledge now, right? So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep. That's kind of the goal behind it, and kind of why scrims are fine, but they're just something about competing in a league that's, a little bit different because personally, there's like a little more pressure. You try to take it a little more serious.
Yeah,
Um, so that's kind of why. And yeah, we just wanted to see what it's like because for me, I have competed before, but I think the mid laner and I think most of our team had never competed before. So that was kind of like an eye opener for them and for them to get to experience that and feel that, um, and see what that's like and kind of what it really takes, to try and be one of the best teams, in competition, which is not an easy feat to do.
yeah,
It requires a lot of consistency and just individual skill.
yeah. I mean, I'll even tag on to that. When I first started competing, like 20. Oh boy, this will show my age. 2019 was, I think, when I did my first competitive run. I was plat. I was in the exact same rank you were, jungler. I was scrappy. I thought I was better than everyone, but I like quickly got humbled. I got very humbled
Yeah,
because like
yeah.
there is a lot of things that people can do at your level that you're just like you feel like you know everything, but you don't. And then
Hmm.
when you're asked it's handed to you, you're like, dang, I have so much to learn. And I
Yeah.
literally took every game and I VOD reviewed the crap out of it. And I think by the end of that split, I hit diamond for the first time just because of the like
Nice.
exposure that I was getting. Um,
Yeah.
and since then, I made my run all the way up to my peak was about 685 Grandmaster, which was a couple years ago. And I've just been playing
Nice.
competitive, but I don't really play.
Congrats. That's a big accomplishment, I think.
Yeah, but guess what? After that, I like lost all interest in playing competitive
Yeah, I feel that.
because it's like you once you reach that ladder. I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but like once you reach that ladder, for me at least, I just didn't find any more enjoyment in it, and I just started playing League casually because I still love the game.
For sure.
Um, But I just like you were feeling like I've been out of the game for about a couple of years. I'm starting to feel that competitive rush again. So I'm thinking of competing
Yeah.
again. So I like
Nice.
the fact that we're able to connect on that because it is nice to be able to like showcase the love that we have for the game and then also be able to play at a level where we're like, hey, look, I look, this is what I can do, guys. Like this is me. So I absolutely
For
love that.
sure.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. As far as like,
Like
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to be honest, like I think when we entered this team, like I don't even know if we were expecting to win anything because everyone knew how new we were. Like brand new team, 1 week of practice. Like
Yeah.
I tried to remind the guys like just go out there and just do your best, like no matter what happens. We'll review and we'll learn from like the goal, right, is to learn from every single game that you can, whether it's a matchup, whether it's, positioning, whether it's setting things up, whether it's warding. Like that's what I love about the game. There's so many things that you can focus on, or you can work on that just kind of for me, it keeps me interested. And like, I know that there's always something that I can try and work on.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, like these. Oh, I mean, a lot of I'm trying to compile a bunch of highlights and stuff like that. But like, you guys will be able to see kind of like the games afterwards.
Mhm.
So it'll be like a good opportunity to kind of like see in like a year, like how much have I improved, and you can just go back and look at the video, and be like, okay, that I don't. That's terrible. Why did I play it like that? So that's like
What
what is it?
What do you mean you will be able to see the games?
I'm gonna be after the season or the league is over. I'm gonna upload all the vods for every single game for all the leagues.
Oh, you guys have them saved?
Yeah, we save them privately on YouTube.
Ah.
I just don't upload them yet because most people use the Twitch. But if people want like an
Mm-hmm.
archive, they'll just be able to go to the YouTube afterwards, and then boom, they'll just go to season 6 or yeah, I guess yeah, this would be season 16. Season 16 spring Ember Blaze League, and boom, you'll find all your vods right
That's
there.
pretty cool.
Yeah, well, at least
Nice.
the games that were
I
streamed, at least the games that were streamed, I should say.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's not that many from
Yeah.
our, I think, because we're sharing with two other leagues or something like that.
Yeah, it was so initially this league was supposed to be a Wednesday league, but like
Yeah.
literally 99 or 90% of the teams all said they can only do Tuesday. So that's why
Yeah.
and I know you guys had to reschedule a bunch. I saw that because
Yeah.
Wednesday
A
happened to be
lot
a
of that
better
was
day.
a lot of that is because of my schedule.
Yeah.
And it unfortunately switches every week, or not every week, but whenever there's like different numbers of the month, like it switches up, like whether I work Tuesday or Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird, and I have to get used to that.
You're good. I'm glad a lot of the teams were pretty chill with doing little, like, because like sometimes it can be hard to get
Yeah.
reschedules in, but
Mhm.
I mean everyone's been great. Like Blaze has been like an absolute blast to be able to watch. So a shout out to all the teams that are partaking. Like I'm glad you guys were able to help out Gloomblade here.
Yeah, for
um,
sure. No, I did enjoy competing with all the teams and kind of see where the competition's at. Before this league, we had no idea what to expect, both from ourselves or from other teams. But now we can we have a visual representation of where we're at, and
Absolutely.
kind of see where we're at, and kind of see the what we need to work on and what we need to grow on to be able to compete with the better teams.
From your experience, out of all the bot lanes that you've gone up against, what would you say has been like the hardest bot lane matchup where you're like, dude, these guys are like insane. Like, I'm not even sure how to play this lane. Along the lines of that, or like it just felt really difficult for you guys.
Chrome alone was pretty good, pretty tough to play with.
Mm-hmm.
And then my first game too was pretty tough,
Yeah,
playing the
yeah,
freaking mages.
yeah. Mage bot lanes, right?
I that's that they might see this and start playing mages against me all the time, but don't worry,
No, listen, it's a
I've been working
universal
on that.
known fact. Nobody likes playing against mage bot lanes. It
Oh
is
my
like,
god, it's so lame.
but
But
hey, it's
it is what it
fearless.
is.
It is fearless. So,
It is. I don't Hey, don't worry. I've been cooking up some stuff.
okay. So hey guys, you hear that? Gloomblade isn't done yet, so we got some picks for the next week that's coming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, and then as far as if you could play Chrome alone again with like the experience that you guys got, like at least their bot lane, do you think you guys could at least give them a run for their money now that you kind of like understand how they play, or do you think it'd still be tough?
Yes. Yes. So one of the things that I've been working on is how to take more space
Mm-hmm.
in lane, and how to push small leads just a little bit more than what I was doing before, because I think what I was doing was, if I got any little lead, I would kind of, in the past, I would try to overplay it. So then I worked on, like, okay, maybe I don't need to overplay is maybe just take the freebies and go back and um just come back with a little bit of advantage. But now that I was doing that consistently, my coach was like, "Look, you're doing good. You're doing what you need to do in lane. Now you get to step up your game and see what else can you do? What's the next thing that you can do, in addition to like already winning lane or getting favorable lane states? Okay, what else can you do?" And so that's kind of what I've been working on. And so the hardest thing about doing that though is always the jungler, because they're the ones that could change the tide. You can have a game plan set. You can try and do something with your lane, with your wave, or with your positioning. But at the end of the day, if their jungler, if their mid laner is pressuring you or making plays somewhere else, they kind of can throw the original plan, throw it out in the water, and then you gotta adjust.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, I'm sure the coaches are all going over this, but like, I heard, or I don't know if I heard. I think I saw a video, where someone was talking about how like macro really isn't like that unique anymore. Where like macro is right now, it's just correct and incorrect macro to like what the right play is. There isn't like several different possibilities. It's usually one or two possibilities that you can take in every scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And most teams recognize it, but like not every team's going to recognize what the correct way is, right? Like, should you guys play
Mm-hmm.
for the dragon? Should your support walk up and should you guys go for a trade? Should bot lane switch with mid lane and maybe play for grubs? Like it's like a real. It's a lot more simplified, but also complicated at the same time. So it's unique, in a sense, to be able to understand it, and I think that's what separates like the better teams from like the lower tier teams. It's just the ability to understand, hey, this is the right way to play it. Um, but exposure is a huge thing, and I'm glad that Gloomblade was able to at least get that exposure. Now
Yeah.
that being said, I don't think you guys are out though, right? I still
Nope.
think you guys
Nope.
have a huge chance.
Yeah, we're playing against a team that we have previously beat, and Astros and I have been working pretty hard. I would say the most challenging thing is, getting that new jungler kind of on the same page as everyone, just because, they're new, and a lot of the other players, we kind of already been doing things a certain way. And so throwing a new jungler into the mix with new champions, like different play styles, that has been the biggest hurdle to try and overcome and just get used to. But like I said, I've competed long enough and just been a competitor long enough that just with enough time, enough effort, and consistency, uh, progress will be made. But it is tough that all this happened when we were already competing.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Now speaking of progress, let's just say, you know what? No, Gloomblade makes it to the finals. Okay, let's just say you guys make it to the finals. Okay,
Okay,
what
okay.
team would you guys go up against, and what would the final score be? Let's just say you guys win. What would this final score be? And what team would you guys likely be at the end with? I'm actually curious to hear your answer.
It's gonna be one of the monkeys. I forget which one of the monkey teams is whichever one's number one.
Currently
I
it's
I don't
Monkey.
keep the teams that well.
No, no, you're good. It is Monkeys Maui. That's number one. I will double
Monkeys
check. Sorry,
Maui.
Monkeys Maui. I apologize. Yes, it is Maui. They are.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes. I think that's the first team we played, which I remember that's the one that played the mage bot
Mhm.
lane. Ugh, that was rough. Yeah, so it'd be them. If we win, it would have to be like we would have to win 3-0 if we want to win that because we don't have the experience, I don't think, to take it to 5 games. So if
Yeah,
we win, it would have to be like that.
yeah.
At least the way I look at it.
I mean, listen.
It would be cool though. It would be
Fi-
cool.
5 games is basically like the peak moment where you're finally there. The climatic, like
You're
it's two and
you're
two, and you
coming
get
out
the
with the
last win.
pockets. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I think your next week matchup, the bracket was just updated, is Stun Gaming. And you
Mhm.
guys said you guys have previously been them before. So are you guys basically going
Mhm.
with like new preparations and it has a team been scrimming recently or like working on scrim plans to kind of like get prepare because I know you said.
Definitely
Mhm.
definitely new preparation. We actually stopped scrimming because like I said, we have a new jungler and we just been trying to spam uh just games. So we've been doing like I don't know if you're familiar with like blitz scrims or like just you're doing a scrim but not really all the way to 20 minutes, and we've also just been trying to do like flex or normal games just to get used to communication because that's usually one of the big ones that gets broken down whenever you bring new people into the mix. Um, and then just making sure we're able to set up our objectives and doing our game timers the right way. So that's been kind of what we've been working on, and haven't had much time to or haven't had much experience scrimming since we made the decision to start focusing on just getting games in because I think that's what we need, just lots of games.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think the more I mean, if I'm trying to think of like the way to formulate the word, like after this league is over, how likely do you think the team is going to stay together? Would you say?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
You don't have to. If you don't want to answer, you can refuse the answer if it's like too
uh,
personal.
it's not too personal. I mean, the reality is, I think I kind of talked about it a little bit.
Sure.
You know, support is a mid lane at heart, and
Yeah.
he's already expressed that he's wanting to play a different role. So I don't know how that's gonna go. Maybe I'll start a second team with him. I don't freaking know what I'm gonna do yet. Um, and then I think the top laner. If I think I've already expressed that if he, you know, I think I told him if he misses one more practice, as much as I would hate it, I would need him to either move to a sub position or move to sub position because I need someone that, especially for competition. Scrim's a little bit different. I can have some leeway, but if it's like a match day, like we can't be missing those, unfortunately. So I might be looking for a top laner to fill in to be able to play consistently. Which, like I said, it's pretty hard to do. Hard to find consistent players because we all have lives outside of league too, and there's a bunch of other things that go into um being able to make time for this. Work being one of the bigger ones. Like for myself, I can't make every practice or I can't make every match, but I make sure that if I can, like, because I know in advance, I plan things ahead and find someone there that is going to play to my level or even better. And so that's what I was doing with the Rat, and worked out. They won that one game, so it wasn't like I was trying to leave them with
Right.
anyone random. So
Yeah.
so that, and I think in the future that's kind of what it's looking like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that this won't be the last of Gloomblade. Even if it's a new roster, I'm glad to hear that. Um,
Yeah, no, for sure. I think from the beginning, myself and Char, we've always talked about uh looking at this like a long-term project, not like a short-term, because that was the thing that was bugging me about the other teams. It's like they were together for, I don't know, like a week or two, and then someone was like, "Oh, either found another team or can't make the practices or insert whatever." And that was something that always rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, "Well, why are you here if you aren't gonna make the time, make the sacrifice, or yeah, to make practices?" And so I was like, "Yeah, if the player isn't gonna commit, then I personally I don't want them on my team." So
yeah,
I'm kind of big on that because that's really the only way that people can improve is if they're consistently showing up and doing the bare minimum. Then that's like step one. So, and I'm still at step one in finding the right players.
I mean, League is trial and error, no matter where you play. So,
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
cool. Well, all right. For my next segment, this is like the second to last segment. I kind of do like a rapid fire where I just ask just some quick questions. You could respond like with one answer if you want to, get into more depth with it. It's up to you. To give you an example, first one would be like, do you prefer Coke or Pepsi?
Oh, Coke.
Okay, okay.
That's
And
just an example.
yeah, just an example, just get you started. But yeah, Coke. All right, we got a Coke fan right here.
Okay, can I actually say something real quick
Yeah, go for it.
before we jump into the
Yeah, absolutely.
so another funny thing about me is that I I should have said this before, like at the very beginning. So I was actually already on the Andromeda team,
Yeah,
the Andromeda
the New
New
Horizon.
Horizon, I think that's
Yeah.
what it's called. Yep. So I was already on that team, and I was set to. Actually, I didn't know that team had signed up for this league whenever I signed up with this team
You know what's
with
funny?
Gloomblade,
Before you keep going,
and uh-huh.
you know what's funny? They didn't know they signed up either. One of their players actually signed them up.
Yeah,
But keep going,
and
keep going.
so
Uh-huh.
and so I was like, "Oh, I didn't know I was signing up for this, and I just finished signing up for with Gloomblade." And so I had to unfortunately make the decision, like, do I go with like a team, like a new team, and try and play with them, or do I go with the team that I've been working on for 6 months? And honestly, another funny thing is, I tried out for Andromeda,
Yeah,
and I didn't think I was gonna get selected because I told you I competed in the past, right?
yeah.
I've done so many tryouts, so many tryouts, and I have yet to be selected. That's also another reason I created my own team because I was like, well, no one's picking me, so I'm probably bad, but I don't want that to be the reason that I don't get to compete and I don't get to try and give it a shot, give it my all and trying to prove myself and just play with others. Um, so yeah, I wasn't even expecting to be on the team, and it just so worked out that they selected me. I think I did like 2 or 3 scrims with them, and then the league started, and then I had to make a decision, and I'm a loyal person, and so um, I didn't want the 6 months of practice that I'd done with Gloomblade to just be thrown out, and then also let all the other players down. So I made the
Absolutely.
tough decision to leave Andromeda and then play uh, with Gloomblade just because just I have more time with them. And it was also tough. I had to tell the other team and be like, look, I didn't know we were both signing up for the same league. Otherwise, I wouldn't have accepted the offer to begin with, because I think we didn't even know what league they were going to sign up for yet. So my original plan was just to try and play on both teams, and hopefully they both play on different leagues, different days, and then I could do both. I can do one. I would just treat like an extra practice day, and that was kind of like my thought because I was like, I just want time on the Rift, time on in the team environment, time with a coach,
Right.
time figuring out what it is I need to work on, and fortunately it didn't work out, so that's why I had to leave that team. And I also was pretty sad I didn't get to play this week, right? We played this week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
this
was pretty sad I didn't get to play Tuesday. I was at work and I didn't get to play against Andromeda.
it would have been pretty
Because I really wanted
symbolic.
to. Yeah, I really wanted to. I was like, man, I wanted to play against them, but it's all right. Maybe we'll see them in
Hey,
the
listen,
future. I don't know.
never say never,
Hey,
man. You never
never
say
say
never.
never. That's right.
Oh.
Enough of that. I didn't want to add on too
No, no,
much
no,
to
you're
your.
good. I'm
I just
glad you
thought
mentioned
I
that
wanted to
fact.
share that. Yeah.
Little bit of
Yeah.
lore on the Gloomblade and Andromeda history.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I respect those guys. I like playing with all of them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the rapid fire questions were super easy. It was just gonna be like after the Coke when I was gonna ask who in your mind who is like the shot caller in the team.
Oh, that's a good one. It used to be our jungler.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we're trying to make it our jungler, but that's a work in progress. So it's
Sure.
between jungler and support right now.
All right, all right. And then who is who ints the hardest on your team?
Oh my God. All of us. I
I
would say
respect it. I respect it.
I would I would say mid game, me, early game, top lane. I don't it sucks because I don't really look at my mid laner a lot. I don't know.
Sure. Um,
But I do know during reviews, a lot of times we're like, "Hey, top lane, you should have gone past the halfway point because you just died." We have to remind them every once in a while.
well, and then who would you say is like the funniest player on your team?
Oh, funniest. Oh, it's got to be Char.
Oh yeah,
Char is
the mid
freaking
laner.
hilarious. Yeah, yeah. Just him and I, we've known each other for so long. Like we can talk smack against each other now. Uh, we just known each other for so long at this point. Like we have inside jokes now, and so like that's kind of what I want with all the players. But that also requires people to be here long enough to kind of build that.
Sure.
So I think as far as me and Char, like we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. Um, and then we just have to find other players that can be pretty consistent with us and kind of have the same goals.
Yeah. All right, and then my final question is: even though you guys are in the lower bracket now, what kind of
Uh huh.
message do you want to send to the other teams, still in the playoffs, and to like your fans out there? Also, like, um, what kind of message do you want people to know? Can't even talk Gloomblade by.
I want okay. So a message to the other teams that are still in the playoffs. I would say good luck, but if you play against us, you know we hope to take some games from you.
Absolutely.
And to any fans that are out there or people that follow the league, uh, just know we're just getting started. We're just getting started.
Awesome. All right, and then to wrap up the final segment, any shout outs that you'd like to do?
Uh, no, I don't know enough people yet to give shout outs.
Sure, sure, sure. No, you're all right. Well, hey, Victor, thank you so much for spending an hour with me and giving kind of insight on your team. Absolutely
Hmm.
loved hearing more about Gloomblade, kind of like the start that you guys had, the challenges that you guys formed, especially being a fairly new team. I do have high hopes for you guys, and I hope even if like you guys don't make it through the entire league, or if you guys don't even return to this league particularly, I do hope that you guys continue the name, and you're able to kind of take it to the future because I absolutely love hearing like the underdog story where like you guys get
Hmm.
beat up in the beginning, but then just like boxing, you train, and then you're on your way to the top. So absolutely ready for that.
It's my favorite thing about competition, and honestly, that's why I do it. And a lot of things that I've done, like where I've competed. So I'm an athlete.
Hmm.
I competed in like sports when I was in high school. So that's always my favorite thing to, just when after you put all of the work in and you start seeing results, that's the greatest feeling. So that's why I do it, and I try to get my whole team behind that whole feeling of like, why are you doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again so much. Have a great evening, and for everyone that's listening out there, this has been Ember Melting Point.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for this episode of Melting Point. A big thank you to the Victor Sosa from Gloomblade ME for taking the time to join us and share some insight into the team, their season, and their playoff run thus far. If you enjoyed the interview, make sure you like the video, subscribe for more content, and we'll see you next time.